Hi, welcome to the Always Evolving podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Elizabeth Fedrick. In today's society of endless dating apps and the pervasive disposable culture, it's so easy to feel frustrated, confused, and overwhelmed by dating, which can lead to quite a bit of dating anxiety. Joining us today is Haifa Barbari, founder of the Be What Matters app. Haifa is here to help us to identify some of the causes of dating anxiety and to teach us some steps on how to take our power back and to feel more confident in the dating world.
It's okay that we don't have it all figured out. We're all just taking it a day at a time. This is Always Evolving with Dr. Liz.
Haifa, thank you so much for joining us on Always Evolving.
So happy to be here, Liz, and hello, everybody.
Yes, happy to have you here. Tell everyone who you are, what you do, and what you specialize in.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Haifa, and I'm the founder of a self-coaching app called Be What Matters that specializes in the relationship with yourself, other people, and your life that ladders up to what I call social wellness. Because in my background before becoming a founder of the app is that I'm a professionally qualified futurist, and I've worked with health companies for 15 years thinking about what they should do for the future health of the world, society, and their business. And one of the areas that were neglected was the rising impact of technology on ourselves and our relationships. And there needed to be a solution. So that's me, and that's what I do and why.
Okay, well, very good. Yeah, they're definitely, the technology impacts us in so many ways. And even what we're going to talk about today with dating anxiety, it certainly plays such a role in that, just with so many options and the ability to say and do and post anything and everything can be so overwhelming.
Absolutely. And I mentioned that history because as I was working in business, I could see the data and the impact, more broadly speaking, on our well being, on anxiety. And then I personally experienced it myself, going from extremely confident in dating, not having an issue meeting people, being on dates and being present in the dates, and then pretty much overnight, about 6 months, with the introduction of dating apps, I personally changed. I developed dating anxiety and really felt the shift. So it was both observing initially and then my own personal experience. And Liz, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And I just really believe that even when you don't necessarily feel this yourself, you could easily develop it just by the very nature of technology and how dating apps are designed.
Sure. And they're designed as though there are completely endless options, and they are designed based on just basically looking versus really understanding and having, that the energy. And yeah, they can certainly lead to a lot of anxiety. For your experience, when you notice that shift, what do you contribute that to, that increase in anxiety?
Okay, this is where I'm going to geek out. So,
Okay.
as part of my history and experience, I helped health companies and tech companies design apps to keep you on the apps. So, what contributed were a number of things. It's the way the apps are designed and what it does to our brains. So, when you open up an app, you're going to know that you're going to see people and you get a match, and it gives you like that vibration on the phone and the ding. And that's triggering our, you know this better than I do, Liz, the dopamine in our brains and the chemicals and all the
Absolutely.
things that that we want more of. So that's happening really subtly in the background. That's kind of elevating us and making us feel really good and wanting more of those feelings. And so they're designed to keep you hooked and keep you wanting to use the apps to feel good. But the other side of that, any form of social rejection, even a non-match back, if you're not getting that zing from a match, or if someone doesn't reply back to you, it triggers the same part of our brain as processing physical pain, and that's the somatosensory system. So when we don't know, and me, what contributed to me is I had no idea this was really going. I kind of knew that they were designed to keep me on, but I didn't really know the impact it was having on my brain chemistry. And
Sure.
so just by the very nature of the design, it was impacting my mind right?
Yeah.
And then on the other side, then going on to the dates, this disposable culture that we have, oh, there's always going to be another option, you
Yes.
know, led to this culture shift of I'm going to just be here and get to know this person and see. I'm going to have one foot in and one foot out just in case I get something better tomorrow. So, culturally, there was a shift in the way we connect, actually,
Yes.
to instead of purposefully wanting to grow a meaningful relationship, it was okay, I'm kind of half in and half out. And that collectively triggered my anxiety. And I know I'm not alone.
Absolutely. And I hear it all the time. And I can personally relate to a lot of that. And even what you're talking about with the notifications, I have to turn all of mine off. Mine are off for dating apps, for Instagram, for that actually gives me so much overwhelm when they're, lighting up and dinging. And so
Yeah.
for a lot of people, I mean, it's the excitement, it's a dopamine of the phone lighting up. For other people, it's creates anxiety and overwhelm, like you're saying. And the disposable aspect, I think you're so spot on with that because we believe that there's always this grocery store we can go back to, right? There's
Right,
always this
right,
place
right.
we can go back to and shop again with the belief of like it's okay to let go because there's other options. So true. But I think it's been just completely taken so far out of context and it has been expanded so much that now, as you're saying, the investment's not the same because we think, if they don't check every single box, if they're not exactly what we want, then we're going to move on. But the problem is
Yeah.
then we know people are doing that to us as well.
We are perpetuating the problem. We are a product of
Yes.
our own environment. And as I was building Be What Matters, I researched men and women single around the world after I recovered from dating anxiety. And I'll gladly share how I did that. But
Yes.
I researched thousands of people across the US and the UK, because that's where it's available right now, and addressed and researched so much data about the mental health impact and how to build solutions. But the reason why I say that is that as a futurist, you look at sort of trends and behavior shifts in society and culture, right? So we got super excited, the collective we, of all of these options, one foot in, one foot out, and we thought that was fun. And now we are all feeling the effects of it. Everything
Mm.
happens in like 5 to 10 year cycles. And so during my research, I interviewed people, and there was one theme. Right. Well, there was a few, but this one is very
Sure.
particularly important to this topic. And that was, although we're perpetuating the problem, we don't want the problem. We all want a relationship. We want a meaningful connection. So
Right.
actually, it all comes down to behavior. So we have to shift our own behavior. So although culturally we're all kind of sleepwalking into the same disposable behavior, but deep down we don't want to do it. So we have to be the change that we want to see. And that's actually how I broke out of dating anxiety. So I felt like I wasn't having fun anymore. I went from this confident, fun loving person on these dates, meeting people when I go out, la la la, to literally being in fear and
Mm.
not present or listening to the conversations that my dates were having with me. So
Right.
the way I changed the behavior was when I truly realized I wasn't having any fun anymore and I was just sad and scared and all of these things, it came down to actually wanting to take back control. So
Mm.
the key was taking back control. And as soon as you're ready to do that, you can change your behavior. So that's kind
Right.
of how I got out of that.
Yeah, and I think that, the first step being that awareness around what's going on. What is happening in these situations? What is happening for us? What are our core beliefs that are driving the way that we're showing up? Our
Yeah.
fears of intimacy, our insecure attachment styles. What is really going on at the root of it that is encouraging us to be part of this culture of treating people as though they're disposable or just, moving on to the next. And so that awareness I think is key. And then as you're saying, taking that power back and identifying the ways that we want to be treated and then
Mm,
providing that for other people. And, if we don't want to be ghosted, if we don't want to be treated, if we don't want to be abandoned or
treated that way, then we've got to check in on how we're showing up on this scene.
Love that. And that's there were 3 steps to sort of get to transform from anxious to more confident again, and taking that control back. Was, first of all, I was really connecting with my body. Like, I was taking deep breaths, calming my heart rate, and finding the space in between my thoughts to just really be calm. Secondly, I gave myself little challenges of, let me listen to this conversation and get back to me, even if it's 2 minutes on the date instead of the whole date. And then one day that became the whole date. And lastly, to your point, knowledge. What do I know about myself, and what do I want in a relationship to be empowered to communicate it?
Yes, we've got to be intentional in this process. I agree. Thank you so much for being here. Where can people find more information on your socials or your website?
Yes, please go to www.bewhatmatters.co to find out all about the app and download it. And if you want to hear more about my ramblings and chit chats, then follow me on Instagram at the Haifa B. That's THE Haifa HAIFA B. That's it. And I hope to see you there.
Well, thank you again, Haifa. It was great talking with you.
Thank you so much, Liz. I love what you do. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Haifa, for such great insights on how to work through that dreaded dating anxiety. And thank you all for joining us on the Always Evolving podcast. We would love it if you could rate and subscribe, and also go check out our website, www.evolvecounselingaz.com, to sign up for our weekly e-newsletters with even more helpful mental health tips. You can also find us on Instagram at evolvecounselingaz.
This is Always Evolving with Dr. Liz.